Hey there. As a conscious educator, how do you find time? How do you make time for yourself every day, especially during the school year? Mm. Well, you might laugh at me and go like, yeah, right, Catherine, when there's no time for me once the school year starts. And I get it because education, it can just take over your life. It can just like work can consume you. Been there, done that. Oh yeah, burned out of education multiple times. I know. And so let me introduce myself so you kind of have a better idea of who's this, lady talking to in this video. My name is Catherine Walters, and I'm a soul alignment expert and former educator. And I've been a coach for a number of years. And I realized how I feel for burned out teachers. I feel for teachers who have lost that sense of fulfillment and joy being in the classroom, especially those ones that know that there's something more. So if you fit in either of those two camps, I want you to know that I'm here for you. And I also have some suggestions for you about how you can create more time and more space in your everyday life in the classroom to simply breathe, to simply be. And I invite you right now to just take a deep breath and notice how, when I did that and invited you, and I hope you did take a deep breath instead of turning me off, that you can really feel like, wow, that does make a difference. So, how can you create those moments throughout your day so that maybe burnout doesn't have to happen, by the end of September? That you can feel more energized throughout every day and not let it hit you at some point. I'm not going to say that these tips are going to prevent burnout or prevent dissatisfaction, discontentment, but they will support you as you learn to support yourself through the school day. And instead of letting this work consume you, you have the control. You have choice to take time and create time and space for yourself. So how can you do that? Well, some veteran teachers that I know, they go to school at 6:30 in the morning, or 7, whatever, something super early, 2 hours before school starts. Yeah. And they get their work done then, and they have a way of just easing into the day. Then I know other teachers, I was more like this, where we stayed late. I mean, 5, 5:36, you stayed, but then everything was there, everything was done, and you could go home and just leave it. Didn't have to think about it until the next morning. But how do you find time during the day? Well, your teacher prep time is a great time. Instead of, chatting with the school secretary or whatever, and I'm not saying that you do that, but it's like really utilizing that time, going into your classroom or your office space and closing the door and really letting yourself do the work. But on not only the work that you want to do, but take a few moments. Doesn't have to be much, maybe 2, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and just breathe or close your eyes or maybe take a real quick walk around the campus if there's, it's a nice day. And just simply allowing yourself to have a few moments to just go, yeah. You can do that in the restroom. Oh, yeah, potty breaks are great places to just sort of let it all go and just relax. Mm-hmm. Highly recommended. Lunchtime can also be another key time where maybe you love going to eat in the teacher's lounge. Maybe you'd rather sit at your desk and eat. Maybe you'd like to go out to your car and have it be peaceful and quiet, or you go for a walk in the neighborhood where your school is located. Any of those things where you have some time for yourself, where you can, put in some earbuds and just zone out doing what makes you feel good. And so I highly recommend that you use these suggestions or come up and experiment with some of your own that make you feel good, that help you feel relaxed and energized and create the time and the space for you. Because as you do that, then as I said, it won't necessarily prevent burnout or dissatisfaction, but it can go a long way in helping you to start to take care of yourself more and more and not allow the job, the work to consume you because you are the one that's responsible for you and your time is precious. So I'd love to hear what your takeaways are about this. So please post them in the comments and know that I'm sending you love and blessings. And until we meet again, namaste.